I am Erica Gana Uy. And with me on the live stream hosting is Mr. Beato Bonco right there. He's saying hi. All right. Okay, so I hope everyone is doing okay. Hi, how are you all? Have you had breakfast? Have your coffee? All right. So, first things first, I'd like to give a warm welcome and thank you to those who to the people that made this event possible. Okay, so it's all in the short amount of time that we were given for this event, everything just worked out so well, and it was all thanks to the route setters with our chief route setter, Mr. Akito Matsushima. All right, he's over there by the wall area, just saying hi, kind of shy. All right, and the Beehive staff for helping us fix all the coordination with this setup here. We also would like to thank the volunteers that are also going to be helping us on the spot today and tomorrow for the event, and most especially, we would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Christoph and Mika Bastin, the owners of the Bouldering Hive Gym. So, just like shout out, guys. Round of applause for them, please. Yes, hello. Ayun na, they're just there. Ayun na sila. Okay. So, before we begin, I'd also like to request the presence of our IFSC Vice President for the Southeast Asian sector, Mr. Franz Lim.
Hello, good morning everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank all the federations and athletes who attended this competition today. Thank you for the support. I also want to thank our staff, our volunteers, and our sponsors for making this event happen. So yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys the show, and yeah, let's get things started.
Sounds good to me. So, shall we begin? Is everyone ready? Staff ready? Volunteers ready? Setters resting? So, are we good? Are we good? So, right now we will begin with the qualification rounds for the women's in around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so in the meantime, I'd also like to welcome everyone that also traveled all the way to the Philippines. So these countries are from, these athletes are from the Hong Kong, Japan, India, and am I missing anything? No, Singapore. Thank you so much, friends. You guys are helping me out here. Thank you so much. Welcome. I am happy you guys made it here safe and sound. And so, what else? Yeah. So let's see. So the qualification rounds actually, they're going to be more of a points accumulating event. So first off, we're going to begin with the qualification round. So they'll be getting their points with each problem. And then the next hours will be for the semifinals. So this is how the schedule will go. Qualies today and the semifinals for the women's. And then later on in the afternoon will be the qualification rounds for the men. And their semifinals will happen the next day, tomorrow, November 6th. All right. So are there any questions, comments so far? Are there, hello sir? I will ask the audience. Hello, sir. Good morning. May I know your name, please?
My name is Chu. Jab Chu.
Okay, are you you're the route setter for this event. Are you excited to see the athletes compete and try out the problems today?
Yep.
Oh, I would like to hear a louder yes, please.
Young. No, like it.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna warm up a little bit with here. All right. So, shall we? Okay. So who else? Who else can I? Oh, okay. Here from the audience, Mr. John Veloria. Sorry. Okay. Later pa, later pa. Okay. So, Mr. John Veloria, are you feeling excited, nervous? What are your thoughts today?
Excited, excited.
All right, all right. I am glad. Looking forward to seeing you later. All right. We are about to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And our first competitor, beginning with our qualis round, is Miss Anon Matsufuji from Japan. Welcome. So for the qualis round, I think it might be a bit tricky for the audience on the live area to see. But feel free to check the online streaming with the QR code below if you find that online. So right now, wall 1 is right by the hexagon wall, right inside the building area. So it's a slightly inclined wall alongside wall 2, which is left side of the compol.
Bib number 1, we have Anon Matsufuji,
Nice one.
19 from Kanagawa. This isn't her first time competing. She has...
And
Oh,
she
and she
made
gets
it
the
to
top.
the top. Good job, Miss Anon.
That looked pretty easy for Anon Matsufuji.
She made quick work of the first problem here in the Bouldering Hive Gym. And so while with that, we'll be waiting for the next competitor to enter into the wall. So just a little heads up or like a brief explanation of what we are actually doing today in this fine venue. We are competing in the bouldering format. So the objective of this event is that you have to top the problems with the least amount of attempts. So you are also provided with 5 problems. So each athlete has to accomplish every problem with the least amount of attempts within the time limit of 5 minutes. All right. So first off, I'd also like to thank the following sponsors for this event. So the IFSC Asian Bouldering Cup would like to thank In Curvo, 8A Performance, Boone Technical Clothing, Lock and Lock, Swift Travel and Tours, Red Bull Gives You Wings, Super, Tendon Philippines, and Pilipinas Climbing Association. All right. So usually when a climber finishes their problem, we often have to take a bit of a waiting time within the 5-minute period. So not to worry. For those that are just coming in, welcome. And in the meantime, for those that are here, you can feel free to have some refreshments and drinks nearby the bar here or nearby the gyms? The establishments near the gyms. So, in comes a new MC. Hello, and I would like to welcome Miss Kitty Abenohar into the stage. Welcome. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. So, hello, please welcome. All right. So, our next competitor from Hong Kong, Miss Clara Tong. So again, for those that cannot see the wall one problem, you can open the live stream link to check out what the action is going on through the comfort of your own seat. Oh, that is a good move. Let's go, Clara. Oh. All right. There's plenty of time, Clara. You can do it.
So we have Clara Tong as our second competitor, our second athlete on the women's boulder qualification 1. She starts out with a toe hook, goes for a undercling, and she has to get that tricky dual text hold. So these holds have only one area that has friction, with the other end having a slippery texture. She goes for the top. Can't quite stick the Gaston. It's a pretty far-reaching move. So in between attempts, there's a person who brushes the chalk off the holds, because when there's chalk on the holds, it becomes more slippery each time someone climbs it. So to kind of even the odds for all competitors,
Right.
between rounds they have
Miss
to
Clara, cool, calm and collected.
wipe off the chalk.
Reading the problem and taking all that she can from what she has just tried here in wall 1.
So attempt number 3 for
Ale.
Clara Tong. Nice shifting of the weight up to the dual text hold, and she gets it. Now she's going for the tricky top. She needs to carry a bit of momentum.
Ale.
Her foot popped
Be
off
okay.
the
She'll
foothold.
recover. She'll recover.
So the thing with that small foothold there above the undercling is that it's also dual texture. So only the
Right now,
top part
they're
of
doing
it
a bit
has
of a
friction.
brushwork to clean off the chalk. So there'll be a bit of better stick to it.
Clara getting some chalk on her hands. So climbers typically need chalk to absorb sweat to make sure that their hands have good contact with the holds, have good friction. Okay. Going for the zone. Just can't quite get the friction. So climbers don't need to they don't need to let the time on the clock run out. They can elect to move on to conserve strength for future problems. This makes boulder competitions quite strategic. Up next, we have Mick Harris. She's an experienced competitor. She's been competing for over 13 years now. So right now she's reading the route. She's trying to figure out the best strategy or the best beta she can use to send the route. Here's Mick going for the zone. Come on. And she tried a pogo move there. The objective of that is to use the momentum of your foot to propel yourself towards the direction of the next hold. We have Matsufuji Anon on women's 2, women's qualifications 2. She's going for the top hold now. She's using a slippery volume on her left foot, and she gets it. Easy. Very nice top by Matsufuji Anon. Doesn't quite get it because of the slippery foothold. So we have Clara Tong resting up a bit before her next attempt. And back to Shell Suarez. She gets 2 solid hands on the zone. It's going for the tricky top hold, Gaston. And it's very tricky to hold because of the angle and because you don't have a good foothold at the bottom. So we have Clara going for the zone. And she sticks the zone. And she needs to rock over to get to the last hold, to the top hold. So it's a bit tricky to do this because of how compressed the climber is. And with that, the time has run out. So So Yi is a young climber. She's only 16, from Team Singapore. And it's her first Asian Cup. She's only been climbing for 4 years, but has joined a couple of competitions already. So the start is a bit tricky because of the toe hook. She needs to really put some power into that toe so that the wall doesn't spit her out. With Anand going for the top, and she gets it. Back to Soyi on women's 1. So given her height for this problem, Mick Tejares taking a beat on women's 2. And Soy sticks the zone. He's going for that tricky top hold. Can't quite get purchased there. And with that, her timer runs out, and we're on to the next competitor. We have Sai Morata from Manila. Bib number 6 on women's quali 1. Figuring out the tricky start with the toe hook. We have Clara Tong on women's 3. A very steep route, which requires a lot of core tension. She needs to go to the left using those side angle holds. She's doing quite good. She's going for the dynamic top, and she gets it.
So we have on wall number 2 and 1, Miss Sai and Shell. Okay, we have plenty of time. So the setup of wall 1 and 2 is quite a vertical face, but it has a little bit of an inclination. So once we get up into the top, it's quite a heavy.
So women's 1.
Whereas for wall number 3, it's a direct setup where you immediately have to push for power on the start of the wall face.
Sai going for the undercling. So the thing with women's 1 is it's a little inclined. I think with the camera angle you can see that it's not fully vertical. It's a bit inclined, so if you don't get the toe hook, the wall will kind of spit you out. So we have Shell Suarez in women's 2. Going for the zone, and Shell gets the zone. Good match. For the zone to be a point, you need to use it to move to the next hold. Back to Sai Morata on women's 1. Given her height, getting to the zone is a bit of a dynamic move. Sticks the undercling. Testing.
Hello, good morning.
And with me, we have Christoph Bastin, the owner of the Bouldering Hive, and he's going to help commentate on these women's qualification problems.
Yes. Good morning. How are you guys? I'm very excited that this is happening right now here in Beehive. First Asian Cup in the Philippines. Awesome.
Yeah, first ever, and in your gym.
Okay. Did Shell finish?
She
That
got
other
the
ball?
zone.
Yeah? Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't able to watch it.
On the wall number 1, I would like to introduce our climber from India, Miss Pratisha Arun. Alright. And on wall number 2 is So Yi Shin from Hong Kong.
So we have Pratiksha Aaron, bib number 7.
Sorry.
She's been climbing for over 13 years now
Wall number 3 is Nathan Harris from
and hails from Bangalore.
Wall number 4, Anna Matsuki from Japan.
We don't have another one.
So at any time, what do you think are the different
This Bluetooth? Ah, you hear it? Okay. Right na. Thanks, Angela.
certain wall cases require different techniques and strengths in order to identify
Can you refresh? The delay is huge. It's like a minute.
So we have Mick Harris on women's 3. What can you say
I
about?
don't. Yeah. Wait, my headphones are delayed, so I don't hear you until like a minute later. Yeah, I was trying that boulder yesterday actually. It supposedly, according to the Japanese headsetter Akito, it's the easiest one of the women's qualies. Yeah, that's probably why I was able to try most of the moves.
Got it. So there's no really tricky section there, just maybe the dynamic top.
Yeah. For me, so the dynamic move is actually the move to the zone. At least
Right.
for me. Maybe the girls are. I think some of them would be able to do that somehow, somewhat static. But I think the move to the zone is the hardest, and then the top is a little tricky too, because the move is kind of far, and your feet are not that great. Your
Got it.
footholds. Yeah. By the way, the Japanese climber and the one from Hong Kong, they made that pink boulder, the women's number 3, look quite easy. It's pretty powerful actually. The top part is like it's like you lose tension for a moment and you'll slip. Yeah. Let's see
It's
how
a very
Mick
powerful
does
route.
this.
But the holds aren't bad.
Yeah. The holes look big, but they're not in cut. Those boomerangs, we call them the boomerangs here. The
They're a
gym.
bit slopey. So with those holds, you need to hold them with more skin, right? More contact with the skin of your hand rather than just like your fingers. Right?
Yeah. So they're basically like maybe one finger. So first patch finger crimp, but they're like slopey. So you can't really like crimp down. You have to like open, crimp them, and keep your weight, like your waist, very close to the wall to weigh them. And I'd say the move to the zone and then from the zone is one of the hardest. But I wasn't able to try those moves yesterday.
Here we have Mick Harris again on women's 3.
Nice. Oh.
You can see how she's holding it, what Christoph was talking about. You need to use more of your hand and not just the fingers to hold them. So those we call slopers. right?
Yeah, well,
Call
I
them
wouldn't say
slopey
more of your
holes.
hand. It's more like you can't like close crimp it. You need to open crimp it because it's that slopey the crimp, so it's not in cut, and that hole she's moving to is pretty bad. The zone afterwards is a little better, and then actually the holes get progressively better. You can see each boomerang gets better.
Right, it's
actually.
deeper and deeper,
Yeah.
a bit more in cut.
There, I think, yeah, it's a powerful boulder. I think she just saw, okay, this is costing me too much power, and she didn't progress. Good call to just save your power and call it and save the power for the next boulder, right?
Yeah, you need to be a bit strategic, right, when you do
Yes.
these kinds of climbs.
Yes, you gotta know your strength. If you know you can't do it, then this is not the time to just try it, right? You gotta save some for the next one.
Save some gas in the tank for the next problems. Semifinals, right?
Semifinals, yeah. The women's semifinals is today. They were actually, when we were planning the comp, initially we thought both semifinals would be today. But it just wasn't possible time-wise because our comp wall is not that big. So for the qualifiers, we have to use the hexagon here that you see, and the wall basically is only for the qualies, and then for semifinals and finals, it's just 4 boulders. So that then we'll only use the comp wall.
Gotcha.
Nice.
We have Marga Luna on women's 1.
Oh.
So this boulder is a bit tricky, right? Because the hexagon is not vertical. It's a bit inclined.
Yeah. It's 10 degrees overhanging that wall, and that first move looks simple, but you gotta move quickly and move your leg, your right leg, right. You gotta switch from a toe hook to stepping, which is like you gotta be quick and do it precisely.
Right, so it's a bit of a coordination boulder, you'd say, women's 1.
Definitely. But the top part is quite powerful. Okay.
We have Clara
There you
Tong on
see,
women's
this one
3. Women's
supposedly
4.
the easiest of the girls' qualification boulders.
It's also a very powerful one given the
Yes,
angle.
I was not able to do that yesterday.
Oh, wow. Must be hard.
It's still quite powerful, yeah.
And we have Clara attempting
wow,
the zone.
interesting that she turns her knee down for that.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a toe hook, toe jam.
Yeah, I would have. You can also basically just stick your toe, like kind of toe hook, that hold on the back side. It's like a crack, and you just kind of can ram your foot in it from the
Right.
back. I think that would have worked better. Yeah. I actually haven't. I tried the boulders briefly yesterday, but that was when the setters were kind of cleaning up already and we're done. So I actually haven't seen the beta on most of these boulders.
I see.
Yeah. So I was here for most days during setting, but yesterday I had to pick up a bunch of stuff for today and organize things, so I wasn't able to watch the setters and check out the beta.
Yeah, thanks so much for all the efforts making this happen and also commentating with me.
Sure, yeah. Actually, it's quite fun. I always was like, when I listen to the World Cups, I'm like, I would have fun commentating those.
Oh, you're getting to live your dream. So we have Shell Suarez in women's 3, the powerful boulder we were talking about a while ago. Christoph says the hard part is getting to the zone
Yeah.
with those not so good boomerang holds.
Yeah, those holes look like jogs, and they are like jogs, but that wall is, I think, 60% overhanging. Or not 60%, 60 degrees overhanging. So it's quite steep, and you gotta basically like transition your weight from hanging to that undercling, right? The hold for the right is an undercling.
Right,
Which is
right.
a really powerful transition.
So a lot of core tension involved in women's 3. Here we have Marga Luna on the hexagon. Let's see how she figures this one out. It's very tricky from start to finish. Getting the toe hook, and she gets it. Can't quite stick the undercling.
Yeah. I think Marga is one of the smaller competitors, so that's quite reachy for her.
Right. I did notice with Sai as well because she's not very tall. It's very hard for her to do the
Yeah.
toe hook move.
There, see, now she sticks her foot there in the back of the hold, like I mentioned.
Yeah, it's like a toe
Kanina.
jam.
Nice. Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
very
Yeah.
powerful.
That's exactly the part I wasn't able to do yesterday. It's quite powerful. Awesome.
Now she's going for the top. Let's go, Clara.
Oh my god, that is
Very powerful move.
That's
So
a
what's the
big
trick
move.
there? Is it does she need a lot of pressure in her left foot to go to the top from that undercling kind of position or side pull?
Yeah, I think you need to. So you kind of need to almost do it a bit. I think you need to do it a bit dynamic. So you need to pull that zone hold and really pull down on the crimp and kind of throw your weight to the left and then catch the top hold. But the
Right.
top hold is facing towards the right, so you got to bring that momentum to swing to the left and then get it with both hands. It's powerful. It's dynamic. Yeah, I tried that top move once yesterday. I was like, no chance I can do this.
We have Liana Mora coming up to women's one. So Liana Mora is from CDO, and they have a lot of outdoor boulders there. But she did mention that she hasn't really trained much indoors recently. Has been mostly climbing outdoors. So let's see how she fares on women's one.
Yeah. Liana also helped organize this event. So thanks, Liana.
Soyi, one of the younger climbers here at 2022 Asian Cup. She's only 16.
Wow, 16.
Yeah.
I was just drinking at 16. These girls are strong. Yeah, I think the Japanese one are also just 17, right?
Yeah. So bib number one, Matsufuji Anon, is 19 though.
19. Okay, then I think the other one is 17.
Correct.
The Japanese girls. Yeah, it's funny. The Akito, the Japanese head setter, he was like, during route setting, a lot of times he's always just too easy. That's his number one comment. Too easy when the setters were setting something. He's like, it's too easy. And then when he was talking about the Japanese girls, he was like, oh yes, the Japanese girls, not so strong for Japan.
Oh,
Watching them now, like
they are pretty
she's strong. The level is so high in Japan.
yeah. I think they're the only team here right now with a coach.
Yeah, they brought a massage table and therapist too.
Wow.
Yes.
What can you say about women's five? The slab problem. It's a very interesting set. Just a lot of volumes and tiny holds.
Yeah. By the way, that slab it's not like, oh, it's a slab that you just comfortably stand on those volumes. That's just a 2-degree slab.
Oh, that's only 2
2
degrees.
degrees, yeah. Maybe 2.5. It's not that precise, right?
Oh, and
Wow.
she gets the top. Matsufuji Anon gets the top.
Quick. That was quick. Was that a flash?
No, I don't think it was. I think she fell once. It would be helpful if we had like statistics.
Yeah, here, we actually can check the live results. If you want to check the live results, just go to the IFSC website. So the live results and scoring is on the website of ifsc.results.info. I'll say that again, ifsc.results.info.
So we have our competitors, our athletes taking a quick break, and Mick Tejares goes for women's 4, another very powerful boulder. So she's trying to get the bottom of that volume there. I don't think you can see it in the on camera, but there's like a small hold under that triangular
Yes,
volume, right?
actually, quite a good hold. That first part is really not hard. It's the upper part. The once you have to move to the zone and that last move, that's the hard part.
All right, Soy Shin on women's 3, struggling with that powerful boulder.
Yeah, for a 16-year-old, that's a powerful boulder. You don't have those muscles developed yet, like your pegs,
Right.
especially. And that's something, especially the younger girls, you can see like underclings are a weakness of younger climbers. Yeah, not just girls, but younger climbers in general. 'cause
Right.
Those muscles just aren't that developed yet.
And we're back to Liana Mora on women's qualifications 1. Getting that toe hook and going for the undercling.
Oh, here, see? The Japanese flashed the first 4 boulders. Anon Matsufuji. Wow, okay. I was able to pronounce that.
Yeah, and she got she took 2 attempts for the slab problem.
Yeah, she took 2 attempts for the slab. So 5 tops, 5 zones in 6 attempts. That's almost as good as it gets. 1 attempt off the best result possible. Oh, there's Jo.
Bib number 10, we have Jo Ala. She flew in all the way from Melbourne just to join this competition.
Yes, and Jo used to be our manager here at the gym when we first opened, before she decided to study in Australia. So yeah, rooting for Jo here.
Yeah, Jo is a very strong outdoor climber as well.
Yes, let's go, Jo. Yeah, I think this first boulder is definitely not Jo's style. This is really dynamic, and we don't have that much climbing, that comp style climbing here in the Philippines, so it's hard to train that. I hope she's getting more of that type of training in Australia, maybe. And there's a lot of new gyms in Australia.
Yeah, at least with the new holds here at Beehive, you can set these kinds of futuristic or modern comp style problems.
Yeah, and if you look at the World Cups, our holds and volumes are actually already like quite a bit smaller and more old school.
Oh, and Sai gets the top.
That's a top. Awesome.
Sai Morata with the top. Amazing work.
Nice. Oh, that was close. That was close. Jo is on the right track here. Maybe I spoke too soon and she improved a lot in the dynamic style. That looked great.
Yeah, she did mention she was bouldering a lot in Melbourne. So we have Shell Suarez on women's 4. Very powerful boulder.
Yeah, she should have no trouble getting to that crack hold there that she got with her right hand now.
Nice.
That slab looks hard. Nice.
A bit of cut loose movement there.
Yeah, Shell
And
got
she
the
gets
zone on her
it.
first try, right? Gotta update those results.
We're back to
They
Jo
haven't
Ala.
updated it. Come on, Jo.
That hold is slippery. It is dual texture, but it's also not a great hold on
The
top.
texture is quite rough actually. So on that catch, but it's like a little dish. So it's not that positive. You just have like a little bit of a. It's not like a sloper, but it's just like this small, like shallow dish that if you don't get it at the right spot and with both hands, you won't be able to hold it. But maybe if you're really strong, you'll be able to hold it with one hand. But yeah, for me yesterday when I tried it, you gotta have it's a very precise, dynamic throw, and yeah, the hold is not that great. Yeah.
Here we have Clara Tong on the slab. Lots of climbers have had problems finishing this one.
Yeah, that last move is big, and you have to You have to put a lot of tension to that right foothold, the triangle. Not an easy move to finish.
Yeah, and it's not that great because there's no hold attached to it. It's just the volume.
Yeah.
It's quite flat and slippery.
And that move is quite high. The comp wall doesn't look that tall on camera, but that comp wall is 4.7 meters tall.
Oh, and Joe almost gets the top. Lara Tong on the slab problem, women's 5. So a 2-degree slab, as Christoph mentioned. So she's trying to do a piano kind of movement with her hands on the small zone hold. And we have Marga Luna starting women's 2. So what can you say about this problem on women's 2?
Honestly, not that much. I didn't try it yesterday. But the wall there is 15 degrees overhanging, which it doesn't look like it on camera. Once you stand below it, it's a lot steeper.
So that move in women's 3, like the rock over to the kind of mantle on the small triangle hold, that requires a lot of, what would you say, like balance, I guess.
No, you need a lot of tension.
Core tension.
Yeah, because your feet are that bad, so you kind of need to rely a little bit on the feet, or as much as possible. But it's a lot of tension, and you have to rely on the friction, both on hands and feet. The Japanese are really good at that type of climbing, where you just rely on sort of like the friction of the volumes, and the Japanese setter made those moves look so easy, and then you try it and you're like, how are you even holding that?
Right. And we have number 11, Demi Chung. Chung Yin Cheng. Her nickname is Demi, and she's actually the youngest climber we have competing. She's only 15,
Wow.
but she's been climbing for 10 years.
That's amazing, yeah. Awesome. I also started climbing with 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thanks, Dad, for bringing me climbing.
Wonderful technique on display here by our girls. Thank you for that.
Number
Look at
7.
that. Interesting that she tried the heel hook on the left. That's quite far. Yeah, trying to make that move less powerful with the heel hook, but I think it's too high, facing the wrong direction, the hold. You gotta do it the powerful way. I don't think there's a way around it.
Demi going for the zone. I've seen some climbers try to do a pogo move to the zone hold on women's 1. What do you think about that?
Definitely, I think it's a good option because for the I think smaller girls to generate that momentum for the jump, it's a big move. It's like yesterday I looked at the ball, I was like, okay, I can see how that goes, and when I tried it I was like, oh wow, this is a lot more demanding than it looks like, and I think the pogo move is probably necessary if you're smaller.
Right. We have Pratiksha
Nice.
going for the top. And she gets it. Pratiksha Arun.
She
with the top of
executed that
women's
well.
Beautifully coordinated.
Sorry when I interrupt you. I barely hear you.
Oh, it's fine. Alright, I'm going to increase the volume of my voice.
Yeah. I don't have headphones, so I don't hear our live stream. So sometimes I might be a bit off timing.
It's all good. I'll remove my headphones so we're in the same level
Okay,
ground.
great.
Yeah. Back on women's one, I think we're gonna see the pogo move again. No.
I think if you want to pogo, you have to hold the hold on the left, but it looks like she might not have the reach to do that.
So what
Yeah.
should a shorter climber do in this situation?
It's really hard to say. I think if she doesn't have the reach to hold the hold on the left, right, you can't stabilize your upper body to then swing your leg, right? You gotta stabilize your shoulders and be able to hold on to both holds to swing that leg.
Right, right.
So in that case, I think she has to just jump using from her right leg and generate that momentum just from one leg.
It makes sense. So here we're going to see how on women's four, how younger climbers deal with these powerful moves. As you were mentioning a while ago, younger climbers usually don't have developed enough muscles yet to do these powerful moves, but well, it
Yeah,
depends,
it's
I
more,
guess.
I think. I mean, they're also lighter, but it's more the underclings, especially, is something that also the Japanese setter mentioned during setting that that's something the younger climbers are really not that good at, just because you're naturally develop those muscles only later. Yeah. Not sure why. I guess they're muscles you don't need in everyday life.
Right.
That much. Okay, how many girls have finished all 5 boulders now?
Let's check the website.
Yes.
We have Jamie Nung, bib number 12, stepping up to try women's qualifications number 1. So we have Jamie. She's not going for the toe hook with this one. Pretty interesting. And we have a wide shot of our female competitors trying 3 boulders. So we have to pick one. to talk
Philippines
about.
represent.
Yeah.
I like the uniform.
Yeah,
Sponsored
it's,
by Boone Climbing. It's like, thanks, Aldwin. Aldwin has done a lot for the climbing community with sponsoring almost every climbing comp with Boone apparel.
We have shell climbing women's 5, the slab. So this is a lot of core tension and friction with your feet.
Yeah, she's doing great on that. Those volumes are really hard to stand on.
Yeah.
That's where it gets really powerful and you need
Getting
a
to
lot
the
of tension.
zone and getting to the top for this
Yeah.
one.
And you gotta switch hands and the feet are really bad. Like those volumes are just facing the wrong way. The angles are not that good. And the slab is quite steep. It's just 2 degrees slab.
Here we have Sai on women's 4
Come on, Sai. Grab
on
that
her way
zone.
to the zone.
Yes, you can kind of hand jam that hold. I did that yesterday. And you can then almost campus on that hold if you kind of like jam your hands into it.
Yeah.
It's a little painful and maybe scary though in like a competition setting.
Right, you don't see too many hand jams in competitions, right?
Yeah, I think it's
More of an outdoor kind of movement.
Yeah, and it's something you generally, as an athlete, I think, try to avoid sometimes because you can get injured and it is quite painful. So unless you're used to it and know your limits, I think it's easy to injure yourself with an awkward hand jam. That's Marga on women's 3, right? I
Yes.
can't see the number.
Yeah, number 8, Marga Luna.
Yes. Come
So-
on, Marga.
Marga's only been climbing for 4 years, and this is her first international competition.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, a lot of the Philippine climbers, they just told me it's like, this is our chance. Like, we just want to compete and have fun. And it's awesome to see so many Filipinos compete here in the Asian Cup and just...
Yeah, a lot of these athletes didn't have really a lot of time to prepare, but they
Exactly.
were super psyched for the experience.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a great experience. It's a lot of fun to even just be able to try these like competition-style boulders that... And you could really see that like the Japanese head setter, he brought another like dimension to the moves and set stuff where I was just like, wow, this is like
Amazing
is
setting.
really like next level. Yeah, kudos to the setters that joined it was a setting workshop here for the past 4 days. So basically, the setters, they joined the workshop. There was 5 Filipinos and 2 Taiwanese that joined the workshop, and it was quite stressful at times to set these boulders. Like the men's boulders, a lot of them can't test the hardest move. They're just way above their level. The men's. So a lot of times they had to dig deep to even just try a single move on some of the boulders, and their skin was getting so bad. It was amazing.
Yeah. They had to super glue some of the fingers.
Yeah, they had to
right?
super glue their fingers, and they had to really dig deep to keep trying the boulders and iron out the moves to make it really to make it sort of like the attempts are gonna split the competitors in the right way, and that we get clear results, right? Yeah, and the Japanese has so much experience with that. He was like, exactly, I want this many tops on this boulder, and said, okay, we need to make this foothold worse or this and that different. Like, it was so meticulous, the approach. Yeah.
We have profiles now. So number 13, we have her nickname is Fira. So it's CQ, but she told us to call her Fira. Trying out women's 1. Let's see how she fares. She's 16 years old. So the Hong Kong delegation has quite a few climbers that are pretty young. They say they need to get exposure doing more comps.
Yeah, that makes sense. Come on, looking good so far.
Oh, very nice. She didn't need
Yes.
to use the toe hook. She's
Oh, there. See?
wow. You can just reach it from there. You don't need to do a jump.
I'm surprised too.
Oh, she's a bit taller than the
Yeah,
other girls in this competition.
definitely. But to do that, to match that undercling and be able to do that move while just smearing with your right foot, that requires a lot of tension since the wall is 10 degrees overhanging.
Right. So I think Fira has a good core to do that. Strong core.
Yeah.
Here we have Liana. I think this is her wheelhouse. Powerful boulders.
Nice.
Liana on women's
Come on,
3.
Rihanna.
Oh, nice back flag. And she bumps instead of crossing.
Nice. Come on. Wow. Double action here. Come on.
Oh, Liana takes a spill. We have Arun in women's 4, Pratiksha Arun, and she gets the top.
Wow.
I think that's her... How many tops?
That was impressive.
We're just pulling up some statistics here.
They're a bit slow to update, I think, the live results.
Right.
But I also think there's a little bit of a delay with the internet.
We have Suoi Shin on women's 5 on the tricky slab problem. So she's doing a pretty interesting move here. As you can see, she's very flexible, so she's able to put herself in sort of a frog position on one of the volumes on the zone.
Brushing is important. It really makes a difference.
Yeah, if we didn't have any brushers, then the latter half of the competitors would have a hard time because all the holes would be super slippery, super slick, full of sweat and chalk.
Yeah.
Here we have Suoi on another attempt for women's 5.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it's very flexible.
Oh, yes. That is amazing that she sticks to that volume with her feet.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of climbers can do that.
Yeah, you definitely need to be very flexible. And like for a taller climber, that would not work at all.
Oh, Suoi going for it again.
Yeah. When I tried that slab yesterday, I was stepping on the right volume where she's stepping now.
Right.
And I was trying to heel hook the start hold with my left, which works, but you gotta have the reach basically. So I think a lot of the girls they have to do it differently and get creative.
Right.
And I'm not sure what beta is the best for that move. I think there's a lot of versions, and it depends a lot on the body type and strength.
Oh, she's giving it another try.
There we see this. Let's see if she does it again. Like, wow, she sticks her right leg
very
out to
far
triangle.
right
Nice,
leg
come
move.
on. Yeah, I think that's a good way to use the triangle foothold on the right, but it requires a lot of tension.
Right.
Because the hold is quite far to the right.
Especially when you're moving from the zone to the top hold from that position. It's very, very stressful.
Yeah, you gotta keep tension in the shoulders and then slowly transition your hip while keeping the tension with your right leg. It's really powerful.
Oh, and we have Lisa Vidal, bib number 14.
Where's she from?
She's from Cebu.
Ah, okay.
So, interesting factoid, in Cebu, during the pandemic, their gym closed down.
Yes.
So, all she's been climbing are outdoor routes and a home gym, like a home wall of a Cebu climber.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Cebu has one of the best crags, I think, in the Philippines. So there are a lot of strong outdoor climbers. But let's see how they transition from sort of real rock to plastic.
Yeah, it's a different style for sure. Although Cantabaco might have some dual text holds too. It's so polished.
Right. Number 10, Joala.
Come on, Jo. Nice. She made quick work of that boulder so far. Come on, Jo. The top part is still powerful. They did move that foothold for the left foot yesterday. It was even more to the right at first.
That
and
makes it
even
worse.
the Japanese head setter for one set, I think it's a little too hard.
So these boulders that they set for the qualification rounds, what grade do you think they set at?
Oh, it's really hard. The Japanese setter, his grading is way different than what we're grading in Beehive. And in general, if you look at a gym, the gym grading is never. We're never trying to replicate outdoor grades. So it's more like it's a scale to give you a feel.
Right.
But for example, the Japanese, a lot of times you would say like, oh, this is a V6 or whatever. And that in Beehive, that would be a V6 would be a V8 to V9. And the Japanese would call it V6. So it was like 2 to 3 grades difference.
Right.
And I think, for example, that dynamic boulder we see now, women's 1, The Japanese would call that probably a V5.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And in BIF, for BIF standards, that would probably be a V7 at least. Here, Marga on that women's 4. The Japanese called it a V4. and yeah, I'd say still in Beehive we would grade that V7. Yeah, and even for that it would be like a tough one because the last move is really powerful. Yeah, out of all the boulders, the slab boulder is actually probably
like the hardest,
one of
right?
the hardest. Yeah.
And we
Come on,
have
Jo.
Joala, bib
Come
number
on.
10 on women's 2. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
3.
She looks a lot more composed than last time. You gotta keep that tension on the left foot, and it's a lot of tension. Yes, nice.
Nice.
Come on,
She
Jo.
gets. Oh!
Yeah.
So I think her foot popped off of the left foot. hold.
The hard part is once you get the big hole, the big boomerang on the left, you gotta recompose. Yeah, one more. And like you gotta sort of recompose your hips and regain a little bit your position, so you can actually push off that left hold and launch to the top hold. But if you're like on your maximum with the tension and your body is too low, then you won't be able to push off the hole to jump to the top
I
hold.
see. So you
And
need to reset a bit when you get to that point.
yeah, it's a lot about like sort of like getting comfortable in that tension position and launching off while being under a lot of tension, and it's not easy. It's really desperate, and you're quite high at the wall.
Right,
It's
right.
it's a scary move.
There's
honestly.
a fear factor.
Yeah,
kind
like
of.
that's a move we would probably avoid during commercial setting in a gym because it just
You could get injured if you
Yes,
fell on
yes.
your hand or on your shoulder.
Yeah, so a lot of times these athletes really need to weigh the risks here. These boulders, and the setters talk a lot about that. They incorporate often a lot of risk in the moves because that gives you attempts. Because if the girl, or not the athletes know that if they don't have that composure, like you saw Jo right away, she knew she won't be able to reach that zone because she didn't have that composure in that moment. And it's not worth the risk to then throw yourself at the top hole. You're gonna fall very awkwardly and might injure yourself.
Right, right.
So there's a lot of like mental chess game going on during all these attempts.
There's a lot of thought that setters have to put into these routes.
But the athletes too, they gotta weigh
Right.
the risk and the rewards, and do they think they're able to do the move in the moment? A lot of times, the smarter option is to just call the attempt a fail and step
Move
back
on.
and be like, what do I need to do right to finish this in as few attempts as possible? You gotta keep such a cool head for that, right?
Right. So we have Demi on women's 3, Liana on women's 4, and Pratiksha on women's 5.
Let's see how she
So
gets that zone hold. Nice.
Pratiksha has competed in a couple of World Cup events already.
Wow, yeah.
So she's a very experienced climber,
Yeah.
and you can see her composure on the wall.
Oh, they switched on the live stream. We're watching her climb on the slab. Unfortunately, we're here at the women's 2 with a live stream, and that
oh,
looks.
sorry.
Come on, that looks promising. She is.
We have Fira
Yeah.
on women's 2.
She is working her way up slowly.
Oh!
That was so close. That was good. That move is hard. It's overhanging that wall. It doesn't look that way on camera.
So like it's a lot of that left foot having to stay on, and also pushing yourself forward into the wall.
Yeah.
Not letting the wall spit
Yeah.
you out.
You gotta keep pressure on the left foot. At the same time, you gotta free your hips and sort of like lean your hips towards the wall. Otherwise, you'll fall away from the wall before you reach the top hold.
Okay, we have Demi on women's 3, Liana on women's 4, and Pratiksha on women's 5.
A lot of action right now.
Yeah, we have to focus on one climber at a time.
Yeah, come on, girls.
So only Pratiksha left on the wall. I think she got the zone a while ago, so now she's looking for a top.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. The women's field is quite strong. Like I tried these boulders yesterday, and they only have 5 minutes during qualifiers now. And we had a lot of time yesterday. You talk to each other, you try different stuff and moves.
Yeah.
And I was only able to try individual moves on most of the boulders, and not the whole sequence. And it's hard.
Yeah,
These boulders are hard.
And they have another competition. I mean, another leg later this afternoon. So
Exactly.
they need to conserve some energy, but I think they've been training for this. So, they're probably in very good shape. Probably like climb all day.
Probably. They have a lot of endurance, I'm sure. Unlike me.
Fira on women's 2. So she almost got the top a while ago. Let's see if she can press her body in towards
Yes.
the wall so it doesn't spit her out.
It's all about those micro adjustments in the hip. You got to bring that weight over your left foot. At the same time, you got to make space in the hips to push to the left to get the weight over your foot, and then you got to push off that foot. There's a lot of flexibility, body awareness, and then power. It requires so much power to push off that awkward position she's in right now, right?
Ah, her right shoulder, I guess, and back are working overtime for that.
That's, maximum tension there in the right shoulder.
Okay, we have Pratiksha again in women's 5, and
Yes, I'm curious what beta she tries on this lap now. Come on. She's also trying to squeeze that volume with her feet.
yeah,
That's amazing. Look her. She looked so good until trying that match on the zone hold. It's desperate. That hold is
it's very
very,
tiny.
very slopey. It's not in cut at all.
Is it a dual texture hold or?
Yeah, but the part on top that you're gripping is texture, but it's slopey, it's tiny. You're getting like a half patch with like 3 fingers. And it's not in cut, it's slopey. And you got to match on that somehow. Yeah. That's why there's a way to not match that hold. But I think most of the girls will have to match that hold.
We have Samantha Wong, bib number 16, coming out to try women's qualifications 1. So Team Hong Kong, let's go. Oh, nice start with a toe hook. She's read the route well. Her first attempt. Oh,
wow, that
wow.
was smooth.
She didn't even need to switch her feet there.
Look at that. She's making that look almost too easy.
Ooh.
That was a really good first attempt.
Yeah, she unlocked the bait of the bottom section. Now we have Jamie Nung on women's 3, the powerful route. So this is also Jamie's first Asian Cup.
Yeah, that move to transition from the jog in that overhang, that is pretty good, but the overhang still makes it, you gotta squeeze that jog. It's almost like a pinch. And then to transition into the undercling is really powerful. See, that's Marga on the slab. Yeah, she needs to, I think, read the boulder a bit more and try to.
She gets the zone. Samantha gets the zone. Now she's going for the top.
Nice.
That top is really tricky. I see a lot of climbers falling off when they can't quite.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a
she got it
different
like
beta.
that.
Beautiful.
I was just about to say you really have to go for that top hold. Like it's like an all-out move, and I was amazed she grabbed it like that. That's cool because the
other women
backside
were
is-
doing Gastons.
Yeah, the backside of that hole of that top hold of women's one is dual text. It's
Slippery.
it's slippery. So that she was able to sort of pinch that that way. Come on, Marga.
Marga's going for the zone.
is a good slab climber. I think she needs to, because that boulder requires a lot of tension and quite some skin. She needs to really come up with a good game plan and just put everything in that execution. Because I know I see her a lot here on the slabs in Beehive. She's a good slab climber. Nice. Jaw is on women's 4. Is that? Yeah.
Another powerful boulder.
The move to that undercling that he's brushing there, Randy's brushing, he's one of the setters. It's quite far for the girls. Like for me that move doesn't feel that hard, but that's because I can reach it from the start hold. The girls have to match that pinch. They're not showing women's 4. That's women's 2.
Yeah. We have Lisa Vidal.
There's John women's 2. So here on women's 4.
Yep.
That pinch she has in the right hand. She needs to match that.
Right.
And that's quite powerful. That pinch is not very good. Nice. She got it now. She got it. Come on, Jaw.
Let's see if she goes for like the toe jam here later. Oh.
I think she was on the right track. Her right hand could slot a bit more in that crack hold to the right. Once you get the support from the top hold on your knuckles, it's a little painful, but it helps you a lot for the next move.
Like a fist jam.
Yeah, more like a hand jam. Yeah,
Hand jam.
you don't make a fist, but you're just basically squeezing your knuckles into the top hold a bit. Come on, Marga.
We have Marga Luna going for the zone. So she needs to stabilize herself and use it to move to the next hold for it to be considered a zone. Which is very, very tricky because it's very hard to stabilize on that tiny,
and
tiny
she matched
hold.
that hold for a moment there.
Yeah. And we have Joala. Very powerful move. Easy to get gassed out on women's 4.
Yeah, I think Joss exactly gassed out is the right word right now. She looked a bit tired, which understandably, that women's 3 is so powerful. Women's 4 also powerful. So I hope on the slab on women's 5, she will
gets
be
to rest a
hopefully
bit.
yeah. It's a different it's different muscles, so hopefully she'll have a better chance on that.
We have
Hey.
Kuzu Mashiro coming out for women's 1. She's the second, or there are 2 girls from Team Japan here right now, and she's the second one to come out. She gets a good purchase on that toe hook, and she's going for the undercling now. So let's see. Usually it's a coordination move, but she sticks it without having to move her feet. And from that position, she launches herself for the zone.
That is the younger of the 2 Japanese climbers, right? I think she's
Yes.
17, I think.
Yes.
In general, I'm amazed. Like a lot of these climbers are really young, but they have a lot of like a big repertoire of moves already.
Yeah, they have a lot of experience competing in the youth circuit. Some of them have competed in the youth circuit. So they may be young, but they have like 5-10 years of competition experience. And going for the top. Oh, nice recovery. So
Wow.
that's that consumes a lot of your endurance doing that.
There.
But she does it so she can have less attempts. And less
Yeah.
attempts in climbing means you have a higher score.
But that was so strong. She was almost able to do that move
Yeah.
static. And then she realized, okay, I gotta throw myself a little bit more to catch it. Amazing that she was able to try it 3 times and
A
then
lot of
stuck
control.
it. Yeah.
We have Demi on women's 4 making this powerful boulder look
Oh,
easy.
look at Liana on the slap also.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there's... Ooh. Strong. She got that zone hold static.
Oh, very nice. She gets the crimp and she's
Yes.
going for the last hold.
Come
The
on.
top
Very
hold.
strong. Very strong.
She just needs a good push.
Ah.
Doesn't quite get it. So she did a split move there, which
Yeah,
will
you-
take a bit of...
I think if she would have taken a little bit more time to find the right position for her hips and press a little bit more her hips towards the right, she could hold the zone hold like as an undercling
Right.
and throw herself to the top hold with the right hand.
Ah.
That's how I was trying it yesterday. But you gotta like commit to that move. It's a really committing move. Like you gotta
Yeah.
really throw yourself at the hold. That's why I think the safer way is definitely to use the crimp and
And then your
launch
left
from
hand.
there.
Yeah. It's facing. It's not. The positive direction of that hold is kind of towards the right. It's kind of like you catch it with a bit of a Gaston.
Yeah. Only at the very top where you see the green
The
tape.
top.
We're talking about the top hold of women's 4 here. The very top where the green tape is, that's a little bit like the angle you want the hold to be, but you won't be able to reach the very top of that hold. You'll get it more like in the middle.
Right.
So you got to bring that momentum towards the left to actually catch it.
Oh, now we're on women's 2. We have Mei Ling climbing from Team Hong Kong.
Yeah. I gotta say, not ideal there, the women's too. The white holds on the wall that's close to the window with the sun. Not that easy to see. But that's you can't foresee that.
Oh, Liana
There was-
making good progress on women's 5. Just going for the
Yes.
zone.
Come on, Liana.
She has an interesting move instead of foot pops off.
You saw how her foot stepped there. That just shows how desperate that position is.
Yeah.
I think are all the women out now?
Oh no. We still have one more from Team Philippines. We
Sarah.
have Sarah.
Yes.
So Demi not quite getting her high point there. And May moves on from women's 2.
Yeah. The women's 2 boulder, I think, is next to the slab. The slab, women's 5 and women's 2 are the 2 hardest boulders. The women's 3 and 4 you see here, the 2 pink ones, are powerful, but
They're not too bad.
yeah, they don't have a single move that is like just all out, like so demanding, right? They're more like you gotta have that power and power endurance, but they don't have that single move that just, if you're not able to do it, it shuts you down.
Right. We have our last climber coming out, Sarah Gomez. So she did get married recently.
Yeah, good luck, Sarah. Mio, her husband, and Sarah, they set for the gym last year quite a bit. And Mio, when I went to Germany for 3 months, Mio took over as head setter here in Beehive. And Sarah always like just comes with him and works. And then when she has time off work, she likes to like set a boulder or try the boulders. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see her compete here.
All right. We're finishing up our women athlete competitors. We have Lisa Vidal on women's 3, Jamie Nung on women's 4, and Joala on women's 5. So very nice movement here by Joala. She's doing that frog position that we've seen a lot of women do on women's 5.
Yeah, yeah. I'm amazed she was. It looked like she was close to pulling it off. And that Jo is actually out of the girls is I'd say not one of the smaller climbers. She maybe right in the middle of the pack in terms of height.
Right.
So I would have thought that frog position is quite hard for her because that's it's a compressed position.
Right. It's easier for shorter female climbers to pull off.
A little bit, yeah. But getting to that hold is harder for shorter people. Nice there. Come on, Jo.
Going for the zone, has to stabilize here. Has to hold it with two hands and use it to move to the
Ale,
next.
ale, ale.
Oh, very nice drop knee. Very interesting move.
Yeah, she should try that again. That looked pretty promising. I think she should be more upright to give her a little bit more reach for that right leg.
Oh, and Lisa trying to campus the second move of women's 3.
I like her red hair. Lisa, I don't think I've met her. Yeah, cool to have other climbers, not just here from the metro,
Yeah.
but from Cebu and other provinces joining.
We have athletes from Cebu, Dumaguete, Cavite, and Cagayan de Oro.
Yeah, Diana and
her brother
her
Iman.
brother, exactly. They're from Cagayan de Oro.
Oh, we have May. No, sorry, Samantha. Samantha going for the top of women's 2. This is the
Oh.
crux right here.
Interesting. Look at her. She's like trying to press with her left hand into that volume.
It's very hard to do this move because it's very dependent on that left foot, kind of pivoting from that left foot.
Yeah, and you gotta have like the right sort of size to press in and under that triangle hold, the triangle volume. But
Yeah.
that looked pretty good.
It's a very compressed position. We have Lisa Vidal trying women's 3 again, getting psyched up, shaking off. Jamie starting on women's 4 again. So these two boulders are when we see people who struggle with powerful moves struggling.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like big holds and they're good holds, but the moves are really big. You need a lot of just like shoulder
Upper body
power,
strength and core
and compression to just make those holds stick, right? Just because you reach the hold,
Right.
it does not mean you'll be able to hold it.
Samantha here again in the crux, which is this rock over to the top in a very compressed position. So she needs to trust her left foot and use that very terrible undercling on that volume.
Yeah.
It's very bad to hold.
She's still.
Oh.
It's just I'm amazed she can stay in that position for so long.
Yeah.
But the problem is her left leg is so compressed. She's not able to push off it.
It's very
reach
hard
a
to
couple.
generate power when your leg is that
It's-
folded in.
Exactly. If your leg is right, if you're like relying on your joint to just hold your weight, you
Right.
won't be able to activate those muscles anymore. And I think she needs to find a position where she's not as compressed, so she can push off that left leg.
Here we go. Now we have three Hong Kong climbers, Team Hong Kong climbers on screen.
Right. Yeah, I like those yellow sandos.
On wall 4. And on wall 5 is Jenny.
Still, gotta say the Japanese uniform is a classic. They had that blue uniform
Right.
for so many years now, and it's kind of like you can't think of a Japanese athlete without thinking
With that
of
uniform.
that blue.
Kuzumashiro
Uniform.
going for the flash. I think this is her first attempt.
Amazing. Come
And-
on. Wow.
Showing
she's
us
going
how
for
to do the
dynamic.
crux. Oh, very
Oh, so
beautiful, but
close.
can't quite
Yeah.
pinch that last hold.
You don't. I don't think you see that on camera, but in the women's too, there's a blocker hold on top of the top hold.
Ah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a really, it makes it more
That's
terrible.
why I said a while ago. It's like it's a bit unfortunate that the holds are white and that's the wall next to the window. So
Hard
you
to
get
read.
a lot of light because we're getting morning sun here, and it's hard to see those white holds against the light. And that top hold has a blocker, so if you go for a dynamic, you gotta be super precise. If you overshoot the hold a little, your fingers will will hit that blocker. You won't be able to stick the hold.
We have Mei Ling on women's 3, skating through those powerful moves. She on her way to the zone. Oh, a very nice bump. She gets the zone,
bump.
and that will count. She used it to move to the next hold. She got zone for Mei Ling.
That bump was so solid, strong.
Oh,
There.
and she's going for the
There it is. Oh,
very nice switch foot.
wow.
Going for it. Oh, beautiful top by Mei Ling.
So composed, so composed. That requires so much power and tension. She did that just amazing.
I'm
Like-
surprised that. Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I wanted to say, I tried that move yesterday, that move to the top hole, and it's just such a. You're under so much tension. I tried to toe hook that right undercling, but the girls are not able to do that. They're not as tall, so it's just so much tension.
She's climbing a bit upside down. She was trying to do a sort
Yeah.
of like a bat hang. I don't know what she was going for there.
Yeah. The most of the girls are not eager to get their hand into that crack hold.
Yeah. I
It
think there's
is
a
a
bit
bit
of a
scary.
fear there.
Yeah.
Like if you fell while your hand was in the crack.
It gives you a big advantage if you like sort of like jam your hand in there, but yeah, it's a little risky. I think they have the power anyways to hold the hold another way, so why risk it?
I'm surprised that Mashiro here is having difficulty. I think this is a very Japanese kind of style on these volumes that are very smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh. So that's what you were talking about. The top of that hold has like a stopper, so it's
Yeah.
very hard to get it. Even if you get your hand up there, it needs to hit it just right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a slot. The top hold has like a slot that you need to hit precisely. That's why she wasn't able to stick that hold right now dynamically, because you gotta hit the slot exactly right. If your fingers don't go into the back of that slot and you're able to hold down on the top hold, you're not gonna hold it. And to move that precise dynamically, it's a huge move. She makes it look kind of easy. I tried that move yesterday. I had no chance. I know,
Very
actually, I
difficult
didn't try
move.
that move yesterday. Who was it? I did not try that boulder, but I saw someone try it yesterday. It was one of the setters, and the girls actually make that look easier, I think, than a lot of the setters did yesterday.
Yeah, these athletes are amazing, very young. We have Demi on women's 5.
She got it. She got it.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
Kuzumashiro getting the top here.
Yeah.
Persistence pays off.
Yeah. We're like a bit distracted here watching a monitor. Plus, we also see the wall in real time.
Yeah, apologies to our viewers here.
It's hard to keep track.
So now I think all our athletes have come out. Checking the feeds of the other cameras here. We have Sarah.
Okay, quick picture here for the commentators. Awesome. Thanks, Abe, for taking the picture. Okay, now we have 3 girls on the wall.
Yep, we have 2 from Team Philippines, 1 from Team Hong Kong. Number 16, Samantha Wong, making quick work of that section.
Very quick work. Gotta say the Hong Kong climbers are looking strong.
Yeah, they say they've been training 6 days a week.
Wow. How is that possible?
Oh, and she gets the top. Beautiful.
He made that look so easy. What? I think that was a flash.
Yeah, I think that was the flash. You have Lisa Vidal in women's 4, looking composed but a bit compressed. So with these big pink holds, they're pinches, right? The first 2 holds are, or one is a side pull, but the second is like a pinch. It's a big pinch.
Yeah, and it's like really just like you gotta pinch it really hard and you gotta bring your hips underneath it and very close to match it. Yeah. Oh, let's see. That's Sarah on women's 2. Yeah, the moves are all, they're like really big for these women. Like, I was trying these boulders yesterday, and a lot of the moves I'm only able to do because I have a lot more reach.
Right.
And for the women's, these moves are just so big. Like, it's really once you step onto the mat and you're like underneath the boulder, you realize like, oh, these distances are a lot further than they look from when you just look at the holes from afar.
Right, right. So the women climbers have like 2 options, right? They can climb dynamically, or they can find a very good body position to help them reach these far apart holds.
Yeah.
See, like Lisa right there is completely outstretched.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I did that move yesterday, but she doesn't seem to have enough reach to, because she can reach the hole, but she's so maxed out in terms of her reach that she can't engage her shoulders anymore because she's just hanging in her joints basically, and isn't able to engage her shoulders. So I think she needs to try to match that pinch.
Right, right. Which is very difficult, right? Because it's quite a slippery,
I think
angled pinch.
It's more you gotta adjust your hip position and be very precise about it, and I think that's very not something you do outdoors a lot. Moves like that.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the more modern comp style. Beautiful.
She got it. She got it from the start hold. Amazing.
Come on.
Like, she was able to do that move despite like being maxed out with her reach.
We have Sarah on another attempt for women's 2.
Come on, Sarah. That move to the zone hold is really powerful.
That's another rock over, right? From like a pinch Gaston kind of move.
I wouldn't say it necessarily, but you can also do it dynamic. But the catch is very hard on your shoulder.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We have Jamie Nung on women's 5. The slab problem that a lot of climbers have had trouble
the slab
topping.
I think the slab is the hardest boulder out of all the 5.
So you think it's women's 5 followed by women's 2?
Yes. In my opinion, yes.
Okay, we have our next batch of climbers, I think. Or, I think our last batch coming out to finish women's 3, 4, and 5. Oh, sorry, not yet. Not yet. I think we still have Sarah, so Sarah's the last one.
Right, yeah.
So we have Kuzu Mashiro on women's 3. We have Mailing on women's 4, and we have Fira Tsui on women's 5.
They're all brushing the holes first. They're taking their time, reading the boulders, brushing the holes. They know they can do it.
And we have Mashiro
So
up to a good
strong.
start. Very, very composed. Very smooth. No problem reaching the zone.
So composed.
This is probably a flash for her.
Yeah.
Very,
Amazing.
very nice flash for
Yeah.
Kuzu Mashiro.
Oh,
We have
look
on
at
women's
that, look at
5.
that on the
Beautiful
slab.
move.
She made that move work to the triangle.
Oh.
You still got it. Like, it's still such a long way to that top hole, and it's. I don't know if that sticking out your right foot, if that works really. You gotta then sort of like mantle that volume, and that volume is not
Yeah.
that great. It's
It's
not
it's
sticking out that
slopey.
much from the wall.
We have Mailing on women's 4. So let's see. She's a
Yeah, nice.
you can see
Yeah.
that hold a little bit when the camera zooms in, but there's like a tiny, or not really tiny, but a hold underneath that triangular volume.
Yeah.
Is it a good hold? It's like a
It's not a jock, but it's like it's a really good crimp, really in cut, good undercling, but the move is big. Like for me, I can do that move, and that's just because my reach.
right.
But that move is huge for the women's field, and the position you are in, you're like sort of like underneath that overhang. So the moment you lose tension,
You're gonna fall.
Even if you
Yeah.
get the hold, you won't be able to hold it.
Ooh. Oh, I think Fira slips off women's 5.
Yeah, there she got it. She got the undercling.
Nice. Mailing with a big move there.
Yeah.
Let's see
There
what she does in this
toes the
section.
undercling. Nice matches.
Oh, very nice use
I'm
of the
impressed
toe.
that's to get the zone static like that. It requires a lot of like experience. I think like you can see she knows.
Very
Wow.
nice. She got the edge
Wow,
of the
so
top.
strong and
Very strong.
look at the position she was able to like get into and then do the moves so composed, almost static. Very impressive.
Yeah, very strong shoulders as well to
Yeah.
catch the edge of that top hold and move in that position. So Fira is one of, I think, the taller competitors here. And she's been doing a very interesting move on the triangle there, that kind of drop knee.
Yeah, she
a
has
flat-
that reach. But I think her right foot, you see it's on the left side of that triangle.
Yeah.
She needs to place that
It needs to be above.
on the out, like that foot needs to be on the most outwards point of the triangle volume to give her more space to move her hip
Right.
in between the triangle hold and the zone hold, right?
Because if it's too
Yeah.
close to the wall, then she can't move
Yeah,
her
she
hips.
gotta rock over to the right, and if her hold is on the left side of the hold, close to the wall, that doesn't give her enough space to accommodate her hips.
Right. So a lot of the strategic part of climbing comes during between
Yeah.
attempts, right? Where you kind of have to
Yeah.
error correct. Think about what you're doing wrong, and change your strategy, change your beta. She's still getting the edge of that triangle, though.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't try another beta. I think she realized she won't be able to do it, and the move is really desperate. It's just like, and I think if you don't have another like beta that you think of, and like now she saw she can't execute that move, she's better off conserving her energy.
Okay. Now a new timer started. We have Sarah Gomez on women's 3, Samantha Wong on women's 4, and Lisa Vidal on women's 5.
Yeah, I'm curious to see Sarah. I think Sarah can do that boulder. So, come on, Sarah, you can do this.
So Lisa starting on women's 5. She's been climbing since she was like 10 years old. Or actually,
No, you said 5,
Younger.
right? A while ago. Or was it someone else?
oh no, I guess she's been climbing for 8 years, so
Okay.
competing since she was 11. Oh, Samantha making quick work of that powerful women's
Yeah,
4.
look at that. She cut loose and looked so chill.
Very nice, very
What?
composed movement there.
That is some
She
lockout
gets the
power
top.
right there. That crimp is pretty bad. And she was able to comfortably lock off and get the top hold.
Wow.
Yeah. The Hong Kong climbers, they seem to be really powerful. That six days training a week
Yeah.
seemed to pay off. I can't believe that. 6 days a week. How do you recover?
Maybe that's the power of youth, you know.
Yeah, maybe. These days, I need a lot more recovery days. Once you hit 30, your recovery like doubles. Your recovery rate.
I agree with you
it
there.
doubles in length.
So Lisa going for another attempt of women's 5. Crimping down hard on that small hold. And Sarah starting women's 3.
Come on, Sarah. I think Sarah looks a little bit tired there. I know she can do these moves. I think she might have tired herself out a bit too much on women's 2, because that boulder is so shouldery. Also, all the women's 1 to 4 are all very shouldery. I think you can see there. Once you lose that maximum tension in your shoulders, those moves get a lot harder.
All right, Sarah gearing up for another attempt on women's
Come on,
3.
Sarah. Ale.
So yesterday I was seeing that the setters were trying, were letting people campus the first part without the feet.
Yeah.
Because it is very possible to campus that without the feet, but it's a bit, it's a big ask, I think, in the power.
holes look better though
Yeah.
than they are, because those are jocks, yes, but that wall is like 6-degree angle.
Right.
That wooden part you see the pink holes on, and you can't just be like, oh, I'll campus it and you cut loose. No, you gotta campus it and hold the tension and squeeze the jocks like a pinch to be able to hold it.
Right. The
And-
angle makes them a lot less
Yeah.
positive.
And the girls have much smaller hands, so they're not able to squeeze those jocks like the men's are, like the setters. They're able to compass that because for them, see, Sarah has that hold open-handed. If you have bigger hands, you're able to sort of like pinch that
pinch it,
jock a
right.
bit, and that's why they're able to campus it. And I think most of the girls are probably not able to campus it just because their hands are smaller.
Right, right.
Food out here in the Circuit
Yeah.
Mall in Makati. You know, we got a lot of good treats that you can try and get for a really great price.
I really like those black Nike leggings of Sarah
Ladies,
with
come
the
on.
pink Nike logo. Sarah was like,
You?
I gotta preserve my energy right now. She looks really tired. Those boulders are so shouldery.
Yeah, keep in mind later they're going to be
Yeah.
competing the semifinals actually.
So, the IFSC Asian Bouldering Cup would like to thank the following sponsors: In Curvo,
We have
88
Kuzu Mashiro
Performance,
coming
Boom
out
Technical
with
Clothing, Lock and Lock,
mailing
Travel and Tours,
for
Red Bull,
women's
Gives You Wings,
4 and women's
Super,
5.
Tandem Philippines and Pilipinas Climbing Association. So,
So far we've seen
On our walls right
Kuzu
now, we
Mashiro
have
pretty much skate up these powerful
Kuzu
problems, I think.
Mashiro from Japan,
Yeah.
and on wall 5
The
is
Japanese level is
Samantha
just
It's really
Wong.
different.
it's another world. I feel
15,
like
Mei
just
Ling
the
from
amount of
Hong Kong.
gyms they have in Tokyo and the style and the
And
level
the
they
setting
climb at,
is
it's
That
just
is I am
beyond most other countries. Even I mean, even if you look at like Europe and so on, like in Germany, we have a lot of like big commercial gyms, and
Gets the zone
And-
easily.
yeah, in Japan they have a lot of these smaller gyms that just,
Wow.
oh my God, she
Nice
made that look
Just
easy.
flashed it like
Mashiro
Amazing,
Kuzu.
and that's
Wall 4.
exactly what you see in these Japanese gyms. They're
Right.
just so strong, and
Let's go, May.
like for example in Germany, the focus of most of the gyms, it's more commercial.
right.
They don't have these like super demanding boulders on the walls all the time, and
Ale.
that's how we do it in Beehive, because we don't have that, the crowd and the level here,
Right.
so we don't have that much like training ground for athletes like these.
The objective
And-
really is to build the community first, right? You need a large
Yes.
collection of climbers,
Yeah.
large community of climbers.
Yeah, and wall space is, like scarce. Like these boulders take up a lot of space, these competition boulders, and a lot of times you can't have another boulder overlapping with them.
Right,
Because
right.
the holes are so big and the moves don't work anymore. Once you need to bring in your hip super close to the wall, you set another boulder with big holes.
Right, it might like block
Yeah,
your hip
it
from
doesn't
coming
work.
in.
It doesn't work to overlay several of these competition
Aleme,
boulders a lot of
come on.
times.
Kaya,
So
can
in
do it.
commercial setting, you you can't have many of those. We try to always have a few on the walls here in Beehive,
it's okay, you got time.
but they also take a long time to set these competition boulders, because you need to just forerun and test them so meticulously to make sure the moves are like at the limit. There's no shortcuts.
Right.
The beta still works, because you still got to make sure that you're not setting something that maybe just works like for one body type only.
Aleme, let's
Yeah.
go.
But yeah, I hope we just ordered a lot of new holds.
Awesome.
They're gonna arrive hopefully just before Christmas from China, and yeah, so they're mostly supper climbing holes. They also sponsored some holes. I think we're gonna see them later in the finals.
Nice. She gets the zone.
They're like these super pink dual text holds.
Ooh.
And ooh,
Looks like it
that
hurts
move
falling
is-
from that position.
yeah,
you
that
could
move
scrape
is
your leg.
spicy. But yeah,
Alright,
more holds
More
coming.
holds
so-
coming. Yeah.
And that means we can hopefully set a bit more boulders like that, because that will give us
When it
just
comes to bouldering, sometimes
Yeah, it would
for
give
us,
a big
yeah,
advantage.
we need more holds to have like more variety
coordination
of setting.
can
That's
require
what
a
we're
bit
trying
of
to do in
technicality
Beehive. And then
a load of
we're gonna
risk.
have the
Sometimes
grasshopper
you have to
board
commit to
coming
these
next
moves
year.
as the
Nice.
best way
We
you
have
can.
we already ordered the holds,
Give it all you
figuring
got.
how to build figuring out how to build a hydraulic wall, and then hopefully beginning of next year that grasshopper board will be up and running
Nice.
instead of the kids wall. Sorry kids, we got to take down the kids wall.
Mailing going again.
Now, let's
Trying
go.
to a different beta this time, not the frog
Yes,
leg
look at that,
position,
look
but
at
more of
that.
a split.
Ah, that looks
Beautiful.
promising.
Very nice.
Look at the match. She's inching her finger like she's
But you can see how much.
piano matching
Yeah.
that tiny hold. Yeah, a piano match is like you remove one finger and
All
place
right,
the
May, you
finger
can
of your
do
other
it.
hand, like one finger at a time, and to do that on such a tiny slopey crimp.
With very bad
Amazing.
feet is extremely difficult.
Yeah,
She has a lot of endurance though. She's been trying this again and again.
yeah. I'm not sure, but I think the Japanese is the only one that topped that boulder so far, right?
Ah. The Matsufuji Anon, right?
Yeah. No, isn't the other one the Japanese Anon?
Yeah, Anon.
Yeah, Matsufuji Anon. Yeah, that's what he said exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss
Great attempt there
Ling.
by Mailing.
I gotta say that was one of the closest to do that move, I think.
Yeah, she's looked pretty
Yeah.
stable, but it was very hard to do the rock over to the
Shows
next
how desperate that move is. So desperate.
Coming into the
I had
wall
no
this time
chance
around is
of matching the
wall
hold
4, we
yesterday. I
have
was trying. I
Sarah
was just like,
Aquino
oh wait,
Gomez.
I'll
And
make
on
that
wall
stick.
5, we have
It's quite similar to
Samantha
women's
Wong.
too, I guess. Like they're both kind of like rock overs, right? The crux moves.
But very different in sort of the type of tension. Because the other one, the women's two is overhanging, and you gotta like pull yourself in towards the wall.
Right.
While here on the slab, it's a lot more about the pushing.
Right, like a
and
mantling
staying.
kind of.
Yeah. So you're not pulling
All right,
yourself
let's go,
inwards to
girls.
the wall. There's nothing to pull on. You're more pushing,
Fight with all you
pressing,
got.
and
Come on.
relying on the friction of the palm of your hands on the like as much skin contact as possible on these volumes. Yeah. Oh, she tries it the same way. Let's see.
Ooh.
Just like to mention.
Let's go.
Come on,
The
Sarah.
equal definitely has a different.
So on women's 5,
on
we
challenge.
have
Right now,
Samantha
let's point out
Samantha
that
Wong,
wall
and
4
on
definitely
women's
more
4 we have Sarah Gomez.
compression with solid power.
Yeah, I
to get
think she's
the
coming
higher
up
part
for
of the roof
and with
section,
another beta for the
whereas
slap. She tried to
on
kick
wall
out the
5,
foot to the
it's
right.
a test of balance.
It did not seem to work very well for
With
her.
the slab
I think
wall
she's trying to
3.
think of a different way to do it now, and that's where experience really shows. That's where you need to keep
Just
a
a
cool
little
head.
reminder,
Right.
And,
for the
and that's
boys or
that's
the
where
men
this mental
competing
chess
in the
game of
qualification rounds
of
later,
competition bouldering
I
is
suggest you
just
guys
like
enter the
your head
isolations room
is
now
going so
until-
fast, right?
because
And you
isolation
gotta
will close at
stay very, very
12:30.
strategic and make sure you're
So,
thinking of what
Yeah.
moves
men
works best
taking
for me.
part in the
What went wrong the last
Yeah.
attempt? All these
competition,
micro adjustments, right? You can
please
barely
enter
see
the
them
isolation
sometimes.
room now.
They make all the difference, like moving their foot up just a little bit more or just a little bit down.
Yeah, let's see if she tries a different way. It seems she tries maybe the frog method.
Right.
Ah.
Looks quite difficult to. Oh, very
Wow, wow, wow.
nice.
Come on, come on.
So she's using
Look,
her right
ah.
foot and her left foot to kind of compress herself into that
Alice,
foot
Sarah.
into that foothold.
She was squeezing
You can
that
do
volume,
this.
but it looked
Come
like
on.
her left foot was
Popped
too
off.
high. And popped off, yes. Come on,
Yes.
Sarah.
We have
Come
Sarah
on.
and women's
Ali, Ali.
4.
Come on, you got it.
Nice. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, get that.
That's it. That's
I
it.
think
Come
she
on.
should get the crimp on the right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Actually, I think Sarah really spent a lot of shoulder power on women's too. She and won. You saw how, and I think that's
Alright.
where
Samantha Wong
you
up
see
on
that
number 5
that
again.
high level of
Trying
training
to-
that
Let's go.
I
Try
think
out.
like a lot of the Philippine athletes didn't have, because they they basically didn't expect this comp to happen on such a short notice.
Right, right.
And it's cool to see. For me, I love that you're just putting yourself out there, you're giving it your all, and no matter the outcome,
Alright,
right?
let's go, Sarah.
It's the
Come on.
experience,
Yeah.
not the result. It's so cool to see those like people trying hard and sort of like embracing that climbing culture of just like you gotta give it your all, and the result doesn't matter so much. You gotta just do your best. And
Yeah.
I think that's what it's about.
Overall, I think it's really good for the Philippine climbing scene or the Philippine team competing here to have this experience of joining international event right here
Yes.
in Manila.
Yeah. And these so they call these continental comps, right?
Right.
Because this is basically like an Asian Cup means it's really just for Asian athletes, and they're basically like your entrance
into the world
way
circuit.
into the World
Right.
Cups. But you gotta be at the top level at the Asian Cups to even be able to get into the World Cups.
Right.
Then you're gonna start at the bottom field of the World Cup. And I was talking to Franz, the national trainer of the Philippine team
Thank you,
yesterday,
ladies.
and he was telling me like a lot of times you see that the top 40 athletes in the World Cups
Yeah.
during the qualifying events, the top 40,
Down
they're the only
to
ones that
our
even get to the zones and the
final
tops.
girls
And
with
it can be
their
that there's
last few
180
problems.
athletes, and out of those
And up
180,
next
just
will
the
be
top 40
qualification rounds for
even
the
make a
men.
zone hold, right?
Wow.
Because the
So,
level is so high,
Yep.
and that's why you
Ease up,
see
maybe
like
prepare, get some
it's
snacks.
just it's such a
And,
high
come
level
back
that
for
you
the
need to
next
climb
event.
at within 4 minutes.
So,
That's crazy.
on wall number
So the
5,
format
we
is
have
shorter for
Mashiro Kuzo
No,
like-
from
qualifies is the
Japan.
same like here,
right
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
But during semifinals and finals, you only have 4 minutes,
Right.
and it's just amazing what they can execute in that short amount of time.
Okay, we have Kuzu Mashiro on women's 5.
Curious to see if we see another top here. Oh, I have a visitor here from my daughter. She's trying to climb up on me here. That's boulder number
Oh
6.
wow, she's moving towards the top hold now. Looks like she's quite stable. She has 2 hands on the zone. Oh,
Wow.
going for a mantle.
Wow, did you
Very
see that transition?
beautiful.
Come on.
That's crazy.
That's the way to do it, I think. That look.
Mashiro Kuzo, everyone.
Wow, so
on
composed.
wall
That was a
number
flash.
5.
Oh, did she do a wrong start?
Oh,
All right, hold on there.
I
So,
think they did a wrong
are
start.
the set
They
to start
pointed
right?
it out quite late.
So when you
yeah.
finish
They should have
bouldering,
called it out a little
you
earlier,
often
but
have to
she's game to try it again. I think she's
follow,
unlocked the beta. There's
protocol
no
from
problem for
when
her
you stabilize on
to
both
get
the
back up
start
there
and hold,
again.
when you finish the
This is one of the
problem,
most efficient betas
stabilize with
we've
both
seen
hands
so far
on
in
the
women's
hold.
5.
That was really
Haba.
impressive how she just executed
Haba,
that
Mashiro.
perfectly on her first try.
Ooh.
Sometimes the first try, you
So-
have that extra bit of awareness for your body
Yeah.
to just find
the
that
starting
positions.
holds are often
And
signified
then you
with the
think you
tapes.
know how to do it,
When
but the
two
second
tapes are
time
placed on
it
a
feels a
specific
bit
hold, that
different and
means
you're not able to execute it
either two
as
hands
well
or feet
as on your flash
are
attempt.
required to
Sometimes it's a
be
little bit weird
on
how
those
your
set
flash
of
attempt
holds.
is like your
Once
best
they
try
are
maybe
Right.
because you just were so
positioned
hyper
and
aware
stable
Yeah,
of your
just like in
set,
the
body
flow.
and
can
for, yeah.
begin
Flow mode.
the
Yeah.
problem.
And that's why pointing out false starts like that.
It
They're
should have
trying to
been.
do that as quickly as possible
Right.
usually to then. I think Una wants to say something. You want to say something here on the live stream?
Mashiro going for
Come on.
very beautiful bait of that mantle to the top hold, and she gets it.
Amazing.
She gets it.
Again,
Amazing.
for
That's
Kuzumashiro
the
on
second top
qualifying
only on
round.
that boulder.
Yeah, both by
Only
the
the
Japanese,
Japanese, yeah.
climbing team.
That just shows they're on another level. I really gotta say, like, just watching that Japanese head setter climb these past days, I was just so impressed. But
a few details to
the,
consider,
like
especially when it
moves you
comes to
just
bouldering.
can't imagine, and he just like
Certain
pulls them
hold
out of
holds
nowhere,
are not
and you're
allowed
like, how is that
to
even
be
possible?
used
And then he goes
during
like,
a specific
oh,
problem.
that's too
Usually it's
easy. We
often
gotta make it harder
mentioned
because the
when you
Japanese
are
climbers and the
with
men's.
your
So
setters
he was comparing
or
himself
the
to the
staff.
men's. So he's like, oh, there's.
So,
I
or
think there's
often
3
closed
Japanese climbers
and
from the
taped
men's,
so that it
and he was
won't
like,
be
oh,
used
they're
as
stronger
well
than me. That's too
during the
easy.
competition.
It's like what?
So I think we're going to have Sarah Kino in women's 5 in a
Yeah.
bit. So
Last climber, last boulder, right? Okay. Well, that was a blast so far. Women's qualification, at least from my perspective, went
Yeah.
by pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
pretty quickly.
It's like it's almost
I
lunchtime
hope
now, or
everyone's
it is
doing
lunchtime now.
alright over there. You're all hungry
Yeah,
and
super
thirsty,
excited.
please
Just
go
having an
get
Asian
yourself
Cup
some
here
snacks and come
in
back
the
right
Philippines.
away
I'm
so you
so
can get to
honored that
catch the men's
we were allowed by the
qualification
IFSC to host this Asian Cup here in
yeah,
Beehive.
right in your gym. I mean,
Yes,
how does it
amazing,
feel
yeah.
to be an owner of IFSC?
Actually, so when Mika and I, we were when we were already like planning to open this gym years ago, we were saying it would be a dream to have like a World Cup in the Philippines. And so I think we're a long way from that still. And the Philippine climbing community has a lot of growing to do. And I really hope that together we can just grow this sport so much more here, because I feel like it just has so much potential. Like indoor climbing in the Philippines is something that has just a huge value, because we live in these big congested cities.
Right.
The heat is just making it also so much harder, and to just have this escape from work to just go to
Yeah.
the gym and do like this sport you enjoy, right? And to take your like brain off things and do it with friends, it's just priceless.
Yeah, it's basically like a playground for adults, which is also Olympic sport.
Yeah, and it's just so awesome to see. We've been seeing a huge boom in climbing here in the metro, and like in Beehive, we averaged the past month, we averaged 100 people on
Wow.
average a day, right?
That's a lot.
Which for us is like huge. It's amazing to see all these first timers and all these new sort of like climbers that are getting into climbing, that are super passionate about it, and that make this community so great, because like everybody's so welcoming and it's just so much fun. I come here to the gym, and I'm sorry if I don't remember your name. A lot of times I just meet so many people every week here in the gym, and I'm just like having fun with so many new climbers, and you're just like sharing these super fun moments out on the wall. Yeah. And then seeing people compete like Sarah now. Just to see her compete here in an Asian Cup. And I've known Sarah for a long time, and she's such a experienced climber. And just to be like, okay, in my climbing journey, right, I can do an Asian Cup and just have fun and put that on my like list of things in my climbing career. It's just so cool to see.
Yeah, it's nice to be given the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I think it's quite daunting for athletes Philippine athletes at least, to go out of the Philippines and compete.
Miss Andrea.
Because I think maybe there's not a lot of funding for that.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
I will grab you
seriously,
again from the audience. I
the
would like to
training
have a small
opportunities here are just,
You used to
I mean, so
compete.
much less
We
than
used
in
to
a lot of
compete
other
together
countries. So
before in the Asian
for them
events, or even
to
local
compete
comps.
at this
Local
level
comps lang
is
tayo.
amazing. Because for
So,
me, I'm
ikaw,
honestly,
is
I'm
there
always
anything you miss
so
about
amazed how strong
competing
Philippine
for
climbers are,
bouldering
because
and, competitive
you are
bouldering
at such a
setup?
disadvantage in terms of facilities here, and like in other countries you have hundreds of gyms like Beehives,
Right.
and way bigger and better,
I'm
and
getting sentimental.
to even be
I
at that
definitely
level
miss
is
the
amazing to me,
feeling that
because
training provides once you get into
like
the event.
I've been
Once you
training
get into the
in
mats
Germany
and, like, start climbing,
with much better
training can
stuff,
be
and
a
I
bit,
never
like,
even got to a level close to
nakakatensyonado.
this.
I
So
gotta hand it to you. And once-
yeah, it's
It's not
really
the same at
cool to
all.
see that dedication pay off.
Yeah, Beehive definitely helps a
the
lot.
cheers
Giving better
and the
facilities
full
here.
support of everyone rooting
Yeah,
for
but that
you.
goes to show you there's a lot of grit
You
and
know,
determination
solving the
coming from
problem and getting to
super,
its highest
Philippine
point.
athletes
That is
here.
the best feeling
I'm always
ever.
been so much
So,
grit
again,
and
let's
determination.
hear it,
Always
guys.
impressed
Let's
by
cheer
that.
for Sarah. Come
Here,
on.
yeah.
Ale, Sarah.
Definitely hard to even start this problem. Barely have any holds, and you kind of have the orientation of these volumes as
Come on,
almost
let's
vertical,
go.
right?
Yeah.
It's like very
Yes, I
slippery.
love it.
The volumes. My daughter is trying to
Nice.
put
That's
my
it. Come on.
mouth closed here. I need to talk. The volumes, you can barely stand on them. Like that
Okay.
triangular volume
Right.
for the start is so slippery. And you see that blue, jib at
Yeah.
the bottom of the volume. You get that for the start position. Then you gotta work your way up and just stick to the volume by tension and with the friction, right? So it's a lot harder the position than it looks. Like for me, just the start position to work your way up from there, it's desperate.
Desperate.
Ale, Sarah. Let's go.
Yeah, you kind of have to like inch your way up. A lot of rubber has to contact those.
Yeah, there you saw Sarah slip just there. When I was trying the boulder yesterday, that just kept happening. I was trying to get to that hole, and I just slipped off because you need to, during the move to the hole, you need to have so much
Contact,
tension to your feet. And you gotta drop your ankles. You gotta stay like a bit nimble still, and especially when you're a little bit tired, it's so hard to execute that. Oh,
That is
time is out.
For our women's
Great try from Sarah
Good.
Gomez.
Good effort there from Sarah. I
All
think.
our girls have completed
I think
their
it's
problem.
that really shows you like how
So
hard
now
these
it's
boulders
up
are.
to
Like
the
from
crew,
seeing
the setters,
someone like a
rushers,
Japanese climber,
the
like
mix-up
just, they make it look
for
easy.
the
It is
men's
not.
qualification
They are
round.
so hard. These moves are so desperate, and yeah, it just shows you the level this is at. Like to me, I really saw that the past days during setting, the level is so much higher than what we are used to climbing at the gym here.
You guys
Right,
feel free
right,
to
right.
grab some lunch,
I think
get
it's
some
good
drinks,
exposure for the people watching as
and
well.
come back.
Yeah.
Gives them kind of something to aim for, you know.
Yeah. Oh, there's Gerald. You see the picture here of
Oh, yeah,
Gerald on the live stream. That's such a cool picture. He's such a showman. Like when he was here climbing
Right.
during Boulder. I don't know, what was that? Rock Manila.
Right, right.
It was so cool to see him just like put on a show and enjoy it and have fun. He dominated that comp.
Right.
And too bad he couldn't join this comp because he has to
Yeah.
serve.
The
He has to do military
Singaporean-
training in Singapore.
Yeah.
Even just as a resident, you have to do the mandatory training in Singapore, which is I think what was it? 2 years.
Oh, 2 years of service.
And if you do well in the test in the physical exam, they give you 2 months less.
Oh, that's
to
not a lot of time.
incentivize people
Yeah.
not to sort of like
Let themselves
cheat
go.
and
Yeah.
make themselves like seem sick or something like that,
Right,
so they
right.
don't have to not join the military.
Okay, so the next, what's happening here right now at Beehive and Circuit Makati is the setters are now removing the women's qualification holds, and we're going to be they're going to be setting up for the men's qualifications this afternoon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The setters are already taking off the women's boulders. It's like holds are coming off fast, volumes are coming off, and they're gonna set the men's boulders now. Yeah,
So let me
exciting first round.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
say, the field is I'm impressed at the level of the women's field. Like, climbing is unique in that the women's are actually quite close in difficulty to the men's. Yes, the men's field is still a lot stronger. It's just I don't know, the way it is, right? That's nature. But in climbing, actually, the women's are a lot closer to the men's than in a lot of other sports.
Yeah,
Which is
right.
amazing. And a lot of times it's just that extra mobility that and the like, I don't know,
Yeah, I guess the
mobility
weight distribution as well, right? The
it's
men are
power
top
to
heavy.
weight
Yeah,
ratio,
yeah, yeah.
right? that brings the field a bit closer together, and I think that's cool. That's really cool because you have other sports that just are basically just don't work in women's favor.
Right, right.
And I feel like climbing is pretty cool there. It really sort of like doesn't just favor the strong. Yeah.
So I guess a good thing to do right now is to let the people watching the live stream know when men's qualification
qualifications will be. It's going to be at 1:30 p.m. GMT +8 or Philippine time, followed by women's semifinals, which starts at 5 p.m. Manila time as well. So I think right now the climbers are all going to take a break, have some lunch, and
Yes.
we'll be back here at 1:30. So please join us again later.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Beato.
big
This
thanks
was fun.
to Christopher Bastin. I hope you can join us again. You're a very good commentator.
Thank you.
Really
I'm just,
liven
like,
things up.
Talking from the top of my head. This is pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoyed this. Maybe for
The
for
finals.
men's qualies or finals. So, yeah, finals would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, or like the
Yeah,
whole
'cause-
shebang.
because I think I need a break.
Well, okay. I'll be back again,
Yeah.
maybe with another climber who's not climbing. I can pull someone in.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks,
Have a
Christoph.
great day, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah.